itself on its performance to do with crime based on 1 month, on a single month, January 2024. And I would just remind them that this is now 96 months that they have been in office. And if out of 96 months they can only point to the performance of a single month, then we're in serious trouble. The fact is that the annual number of murders under this Andrew Holness administration has increased by 25% on average over that 8-year period relative to the previous PNP administration. That is failure by any measure. 2,300 Jamaicans are dead now who would have been alive had they just maintained what they inherited. So really, Prime Minister, one swallow doesn't make a summer. And while we welcome a good month, while we welcome a relatively good month in terms of it being lower than the other 96 months, what we would say is that the last time you had a similarly good month was the January before the PNP left office. So it's been a long gap, a huge 8-year performance gap, and we continue to insist that for all the resources that are being poured into national security, the underperformance is very, very disturbing. Thank you.
Please welcome the rose among the locks, Dr. Burke.
Thank you very much, colleagues. To everyone who's listening, I wanted to make a few points. And the first one really is around the section on foreign affairs in the throne speech. And we note that the DG tried to speak to some of the things that we have done. Most of it around how our members have positioned themselves. And so in that regard, I wanted to say that the People's National Party is still extremely concerned about hearing what the government is going to do to rescue and restore the credibility of Jamaica in international affairs. Because we still have the stain of the absence in terms of the vote in the Israeli-Palestine matter. We still also have the stain of the absence in terms of the Guyana-Venezuela discussion. And so we are extremely concerned about that. We see a note around 2024 and the conference that is to be held in terms of the 10th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference. And I want to remind the government that one of the issues that is permanently etched in the minds of members of the diaspora is around corruption. We would have seen the demonstration that they did, and so we want to ask that when we get to June, let us be in a position to be able to speak about what is being done, to send a message that corruption cannot be a hallmark of any Jamaican government. So that's one. The other really is about the fact that we are in the midst of local government elections. And one would have thought that having trampled on local government by making sure that since 2020, this is the first time we're actually going to the polls in local government, one would have thought that a sign would have been sent to say that this government had some concern or belief in the local government system, and we have seen nothing in the throne speech to point to that. And then finally, you know, a lot has been made about the infrastructure projects and so on. And I was talking to someone just earlier today about even that wonderful road to St. Thomas that the government boasts about. And persons in Grand Spend are still concerned about that big drain that enters there, and which they believe that at the slightest rain, they will be flooded. Right across the whole of that roadway as well, the drainage is a problem, and we want to make sure that there is sufficient carrying capacity so that when it rains, we do not go back to what we have been running from in St. Thomas, which is that from Yallah's Bridge, from the bridge at the Yallah's River, that the whole of that area is flooded. So those are some of the issues I want to remind the government that the people of Jamaica are still waiting to hear.
Thank you very much, Dr. Brown-Burke. I want to say that we have become accustomed to listening to the throne speech, T-H-R-O-N-E. What we saw this year was the throne speech, T-H-R-O-N-N. They threw out some things that they didn't want to talk about, and they threw some other things wishing that something will stick. We will be taking your questions now. Just indicate name and your media house and who the question is addressed to.
I have one here from Siobhan Wayne Campbell from Nationwide. This is from Mr. Golding. It says, is he suggesting that concerns over the Prime Minister's IC filings should disqualify him from putting himself up for re-election?
Absolutely. We have a system with the Integrity Commission at the center of it for trying to bring probity and accountability and transparency into our governance system. All indicators and polls show that the people of Jamaica have a lack of trust and confidence in their political leaders. And so for the head of government of Jamaica to be in a position where his statutory filings cannot be certified by the Integrity Commission, that ought to be a disqualifying factor. He should withdraw himself from any future service in that capacity as Prime Minister going forward. Cannot remain in this untenable situation.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other questions? If not, let me take this opportunity to thank you very much and wish for you a pleasant afternoon. And to those listening to my voice within and outside of this room, remember on February 26th, we'll see you there sometime. Thank you very much. Thanks beside me.